close and personal today because we are doing all things brows. I'm going to show you how we went from this to this, and I'm going to show you all the products I use, the technique I currently go to. So if you want to see how I got these brows, keep watching. As always, we're going to brush through the brows, pull them up as much as possible, make them nice and fluffy. So a lot of times when I am doing like a full face of makeup, taking my time, I usually do my brows first. I find it so much easier to do eyeshadow once I have my brows on first. So if I'm doing that, I always take a little bit of the foundation or product that I'm going to be using and brush through the brows, because you're going to be putting foundation all around it, product, so you don't want any gaps in there. So I'm just applying that straight through the brow. Sometimes I like to use a powder and brush through them before I go in with my brow products, but I want to do a soap brow today and I don't want to make them too dry. I don't want it to get patchy, so I'm going to skip the powder part and go right into the product. I'm using today the Winky Luxe Unibrow. I've never used this before, so this is the first time for me. I did get it in a FabFitFun box recently, and so I thought I'd try it. But my favorite brow product is, as always, the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I just think it goes on nice, it lasts the longest, and the colors are great. So that, if you're looking for a solid one, is gonna be your go-to. Has like a little bit of a tapered end. I like to focus the product on the bottom first to really map that out. So I'm gonna take actually the sharper side and start drawing in little strokes on the bottom. I like to tug just a bit to kind of make that skin tighter for me to draw on. And then once I get to the inner corner, just kind of start brushing little strokes up. I'm using a very light touch, always going through and brushing, taking any gaps that I see in the brow and just doing little strokes. I'm not trying to fill in the entire brow. I'm just creating little strokes where I see that it needs it, because if you start filling in too much, that's when you're gonna get a brow that's a little too dark. Now if you have less hair, obviously you might want to be filling in the whole brow. It's just all about that light touch and using your spoolie, very important. I'm going to save the inner corner of the brow for a powder. Just feel like it looks a little bit more natural. I don't want to fill too much on the top, but I am going to focus out here. You see how that arch can go up a little higher. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to brush them down and just start drawing some lines, some strokes. If you pull it down, you see how the hair here starts going this way. So I'm just following the shape of that brow and pulling it out just a little bit to create a little more arch. I think I'm going to put like a little more out here, just to create a little more fullness. See how that pulled up a lot more? I love thick brows, so I don't mind it being nice and big. So if that scares you, don't add more, just go follow the shape of your brow. All right, I'm gonna use my Anastasia Brow Powder as always. I'm gonna go in with these taupe shades to go along with the coolness of my brow right now. So what I do when I'm coming in here is I take a flat definer brush, skinny. I like to use this to my advantage. It makes it so much easier. I place the product and then pull up. And it just is so much easier to get that bottom nice and clean. Then I'm gonna brush through that. All right, we're getting there. I'm also gonna set over here because I applied just a little bit lower to make that brow more straight across, so it's just pencil in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that with the powder. Now on to my favorite part, which is the soap brow. I'm using the actual soap brow soap. You can also use just a regular clear bar of soap, whatever works. I just got this to see if it would make any difference. I mean, it's good, but I think a regular bar soap would work just as good. So I'm gonna take a setting spray, spray it directly into the soap. I'm going to take a disposable spoolie because it does get a little gunky. I'm just gonna start rubbing this through the soap, getting a lot of product on there. And then I'm just gonna go right in and brush through this brow. Don't worry if little specks get on it, we will clean that up here. So I'm just slowly pulling up and out. So I'm not really going straight up, I'm kind of going more at a diagonal and then straight up here at the inner corner. And you can kind of play with this to your desire. I really like the really brushed up brow, kind of like Nikki Makeup does. I think it's beautiful. I think it makes it look so much more fluffy and full. That is why I love the soap brow technique. But if you don't like it like that, you can always kind of chisel it out like that to make it a little less dramatic. Okay, so now what I learned from Nikki is I just take my finger and start pulling up. And this is going to make them kind of sticky and stay in place. I'm taking a cream little foundation using my RCMA palette and taking one of these lighter shades. Not too light, I don't want it to be like this obvious line. Matching my skin tone pretty much. So I'm gonna do that to clean up the bottom. I'm taking another flat liner brush. I like using creams because it's easier to work with. And just taking a flat brush again to make this so much easier. So I just wanted to do just one to show you the difference. It's still, in my opinion, I know it looks drastically different to you maybe, but it's still light and fluffy with the colors that you're using, and it just enhances and lifts that face up and just creates just the best. The brows are my favorite ever. Okay, so here are both of my brows done. Very thick, fluffy, all the things. Send me a message on Instagram, show me how you do your brows, show me pictures, all the things, ask me questions. I'm always on Instagram every day, so if you want to see more content, that's where you will find it. I hope you learned something, I hope you took something from it today. Thank you guys for watching, I'll see you next time.